do you really think that you were put on this planet to struggle? Like, really? Do you really think that you came here to hustle your ass off and sacrifice your health, your happiness, your relationships in the pursuit of success? Do you really believe that? Like, no.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Tim, how's it going, brother?
Yeah, very well. As you're aware, the second run through of doing this after the connection cut out a moment ago. So, yeah, I'm doing good.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that's one of the things when people don't think about it. We are a global movement. And so we have coaches and participants all over the world. So we're constantly, communicating, via video, via phone with people on different continents and different time zones. And it's really actually, when you think about it, it's really miraculous that we're able to do this. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity. You and I get to talk every single day. We talk pretty much every day, back and forth and what have you. And, today, I want to talk about something that we see coming up time and time again. And I'll kick it off and let you tell the story about unicorns and rainbows.
Unicorns and rainbows. So, this is a story about an amazing man. So this guy, obviously you know who he is, Doug. We've been working with him for the past 6 months or so in the Brotherhood. And every week he's been bringing to the Brotherhood calls lots of different problems with his business, whether it's a staffing issue, whether it's a marketing issue, a systems issue, an optics issue. There's lots of different things that have problems, if you will, that have been coming up for him. And, we've been helping him with those problems, but also been trying to steer in the direction of, hey, maybe it's not those things. What if we were to look over here? But, as you and I are aware, and as you and I have both experienced in our own paths, sometimes you just don't see certain things at certain times, do you? Sometimes it takes a little while. I know for me personally, I like to learn the hard way. Life would be so much easier if I didn't, but I do. And it's pretty similar to what this guy was doing as well. So anyway, 6 months on, from, kind of exhausting all these different business possibilities, if you will. Him and I are sat on the sofa at the Brotherhood event a few weeks ago. And he was telling me about, all these different things he'd been trying, even doing sleep fasting and lots of different things. Now, this guy is a brilliant, brilliant guy. He's such an action taker. He has such a huge capacity to learn and digest and apply and go and all. Like, this guy impresses me every time. However, his greatest strength has also been his greatest weakness in a lot of respects, because, he experienced some huge transformation and change during the activation method and the alpha reset. But then coming out of that, he he did stop doing the basics. He stopped them. And as a result, the past few months, he's very much been in do mode. Do, hustle, grind. And on that sofa, I was sharing with him, look, you look knackered, quite honestly. And can you see the picture? You getting to this next level in your life isn't going to come from you doing more. It's not about, putting the foot on the accelerator and going even harder. For you, the gap right now, the leaks that you're experiencing in your leadership, the emptiness that you're feeling inside, is all coming from you doing too much and being too little. He just wasn't receiving or appreciating the man that he is, because, he was living too fast and too hard. So over the past few weeks, we've been taking back to the basics through a lot of the processes, the triad of transformation and the processes within the truth of the activation method. And he's really been seeing some tremendous results. His awareness is completely shifted. He's now, instead of being reactive to things that are going on in his life, is now being proactive, and he's realizing how he's creating them. A few weeks ago, as you're aware, Doug, we were very clear with him. Look, you've been a victim, quite honestly. You're playing small and you've been a victim. And, where you're looking isn't where you're going to find the gold, quite honestly. So, like I said, the past few weeks, he's been making some great progress. And we're on a call yesterday. And I was saying, hey, look, come on, share with me what's gone on since you've implemented the last steps last week. And he shared all these great wins that he's had. And then he said, but Tim, it can't all be sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. And I'm like, interesting. And I said, why not? What do you mean? He's like, well, you've got to have the bad to appreciate the good. You've got to have the rain to appreciate the sunshine. You've got to have the cold to appreciate the warm. I'm like, why dear? It's like, the yin and the yang, Tim, I'm like, okay, so what if all you ever had was sunshine? Would you stop appreciating the sunshine? He's like, well, no. I'm like, okay, so why can't life be all rainbows, sunshine, and unicorns? Why not? And he said, well, And it's like, this look of, when something lands and she's just like, shit. And then he said how, wow, I'm repeating that cycle in my life. I'll do something good and then it has to be followed by something bad. So I'll get my body to a certain level and then I'll get injured. I'll get my business to a certain level and then it'll come down. I'll get my relationships to a certain level and then it'll crash. And it's this cycle of up and down, up and down, up and down. Because for him, what he didn't realize was underneath all of this amazing action that he's taken, because he was ignoring his own energy and his own belief systems, unconsciously, he was playing out this pattern of, you must have the good followed by the bad to get the good to be followed by the bad. And he was afraid of life being easy. He was afraid that if life was really enjoyable, it was only ever on an upward trend and it was effortless, then he'd lose his edge. He was afraid that he'd lose his desire. And we see this time and time again with the men that come into the Facebook community. We ask them, one of the questions is, what is the biggest problem you're struggling with right now? And they tell us time and time and time again that it's a business problem, time management, work-life balance, staff, cash flow. And it's not. It's just not a business problem. That's a symptom of a deeper root cause. Just like for this guy, him getting injured or him bouncing off an upper limit in his business was a symptom of where he was operating from completely. And, have you, in the US, Doug, do they have a game at I think you call them festivals or fun fairs or whatever, called Whack-A-Mole?
They do. We call them carnivals usually, but yeah, Whack-A-Mole is a game that a lot of people know.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So as him and I were speaking yesterday, it's like, look, it's so hard. I keep almost saying his name. I was like, look, it's like you play Whack-A-Mole. All these problems keep coming up in your life, and what you're doing, you're trying to squash them as quickly as possible. Boom, 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 boom. Whether it's a problem in business or a problem in relationships or health or whatever, but they keep on coming up because you're not addressing the root cause, which has been the energy and the belief system that's been causing you to operate. Because you getting to your next level has nothing to do with you working harder at all. It's got everything to do with you doing less and being more. Being productive instead of being busy. Being really in tune with inspiration, something bigger and greater than you. And, as I was sharing this with him, it was just amazing to see all these light bulbs going off for him. And, one of the action points that we left the call with was, I want you to find the evidence for this week, over this coming week, for why life is meant to be all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. And how it is that way for you. I mean, look around us. Look at the miracles that surround us. Seriously, I mean, look in nature, or how it just effortlessly grows and propagates. And if the sun was a little bit closer, we'd fry. If there was a little bit less oxygen in the air, we'd suffocate. There's so many miracles. Do you really think that you were put on this planet to struggle? Like, really? Do you really think that you came here to hustle your ass off and sacrifice your health, your happiness, your relationships in the pursuit of success? Do you really believe that? Like, no, not all. It's a choice. You can believe that, just like he was believing, and you can play that out, and you can experience stress, struggle, and sacrifice, and you can end up getting divorced, and you can play that story completely out until the day you die if you want to. But there's another path. There's another way. There's a hell of a lot of role models on that path too. You, my friend, have been one of them.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hey guys, I wanted to interrupt this episode because I wanted to talk to you about how almost 300 men are already taking control of their lives. They're 4Xing their business revenues, and they're having more connected, intimate sex using the activation method, all without sacrificing their relationships or their health. Now, this is only an 11-minute case study we put together just based on all the feedback we've gotten from you listeners. To get the case study, all you have to do is go over to thepowerfulman.com/number 11. So that's thepowerfulman.com/11. And you can get that case study right now. It's short, it's right to the point, and it's going to give you actionable points that you can take right today. All right, let's get back to the episode. For the benefit of the listeners, if anybody's, is kind of coming into this and going, well, crap, that kind of sounds like me, or I'm doing something similar, which, many people do, including myself, right? We all go through different evolutions. What are some of the things that they can do? One, to recognize if this does fit with them, and two, what are some steps they can take?
So, a problem cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that created it. I love that quote. It just can't, And so often that's what I used to do, and that's what we often see the guys do. And, within the activation method, there are 3 phases that the men work through. And the first phase is the truth, in which is the triad of transformation. Now, it's pretty difficult in a lot of respects for me to explain the processes and the exercises you could go through, because obviously they're very hands-on, they're very in-depth, very interactive. But in essence, what I'm going to convey here is, if you want to really experience a change in your life, and what the story I've just shared with you a moment ago resonates with you, then save yourself a lot of time and energy, and just understand that, I invite you to understand that a problem cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that created it. And how can you start to shift your belief system? What are the beliefs that are causing you to be driven in the way that you are? For this particular guy, it was very much what he witnessed growing up around what it meant to be a successful man. It was very much around what success looked like as well. Very much do, go. So as a result, he achieved certain levels of success, but he never got above a certain point, because that next level was nothing to do with action. Instead, it was everything to do with receiving and allowing himself to really have the life that he desired. And that's where the whole concept for him of, life can be easy and life is meant to be abundant. There's so much abundance that surrounds all of us, and so many opportunities that we are blessed with every single day. But in order for us to receive them and make the most of them, we get to be open to them. And, by default, if you are operating out of fear and force versus faith and flow, you're going to be closed off to them. You just are. And if you're then trying to continue to grow your business or change your marriage or do anything, in my opinion, and what I've seen work for hundreds of men, is you get to look at you first. There's no point going outside of that parameter. Just start with you. Start with the truth. And within the activation method, the truth is all about setting you free from the lies you've been telling yourself.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Well, guys, if you're listening to this and any of this resonates with you and you, like I used to, didn't even believe in unicorns and rainbows coming together, it always had to grind it out. This is something I invite you to join the free Facebook community. There's over 1,000 men in there, just like yourself, sharing ideas and their stories. It's completely free. It's our way of helping some men unchained, but share your story. Part of this, what Tim's talking about, this truth, is sharing your story with others so you can set them free as well.
Yeah, it's a great community. There's so many men in there that are committed to a certain way of living. They know they're capable of so much more, and they also know that they are not going to achieve that by doing what they've been doing so far. If you keep on doing what you've been doing, then you're going to keep on getting what you've already got. Is how it is. I'd love, again, like Doug, I'd love for you to join us in there and join the conversation. The podcast archives are there. We've got all the coaches in there. We've got, past men that have been through the activation method, the alpha reset, current guy. We've got all sorts of support in there for you if you want to join a conversation that is really going to support you in diving into this further. Because, I wish I could, I really do wish I could give you more right now than just saying, hey, look at the energy in the space that you're operating from. But the reality is, usually, we see this time and time again, Doug, within the activation method and at the alpha reset, those beliefs and those stories that swirl around your mind as to, what it means to be successful and what you must do and all the rest of it, they are so often entangled with so many suppressed emotions. And often those emotions are sadness, anger, guilt, and shame. The guilt and the shame comes from, these guys, often the men looking to everybody else like they've got the ideal lifestyle. They've got the business, they've got the marriage, they've got the holidays, they've got the homes, they've got the money. But behind closed doors, quite honestly, they feel like shit. Feel very unfulfilled, very alone. And often they feel quite weak as well because of these feelings. So it's so important for you, if you really want to set yourself free of this and really take your life to that next level, that you also dive into those as well, in a space whereby you can be led through some processes that are going to support you to express those emotions that you've suppressed in a healthy manner, in a manner that is going to spur you on and be used as a platform for you then to really see the great man that you are. I really do believe that, the guy or even the woman, but I'll speak to the man right now, listening to this, you already are a powerful man. You really, really are. You don't need to add anything more. It's just a case of taking away. It's kind of like Michelangelo chipping away at the statue of David. You're there. You're already there. You get to chip away at those, beliefs and emotions that you've held on to that don't serve you. And that's not weak. It's not scary. And it can feel like that for sure. But once you're in the process, it's much easier than you think.
Well said. Well said. Well, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode, and we look forward to seeing you for our next episode. Of course, if you have any suggestions on topics, please let us know. And as always, if you can leave us a rating on your favorite show or place that you're actually listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube, we greatly appreciate it.